Max Aarons to replace Hector Bellerin at the Arsenal. Now when it comes to the current Arsenal first team right back, let's just say there's a massive debate to be had. Now of course Arsenal signed Southampton right back Cedric Soares in January, which left Arsenal with him, Hector Bellerin and Maitland-Niles. Now in terms of Maitland-Niles, despite starting his first few games for Arsenal, apparently Mikel Arteta is not the biggest fan of his attitude, which led to him eventually being left out of the Arsenal squad. And in terms of Cedric Soares, let's just say despite signing him, the man is still yet to play a single minute for Arsenal. And that leaves us with Hector Bellerin. Now of course Bellerin is a player who broke for Arsenal back in 2015, and despite being so impressive in his first few years at Arsenal where he even got into the PFA Team of the Year, for some reason ever since the 15-16 season Bellerin's form has simply dropped off. Now don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of conspiracy theories to why, one being he's vegan, which of course definitely affects your performances, second being his hair length, which of course again affects your performances. Now despite Hector Bellerin picking up form last season under Unai Emery, of course he picked up a massive injury which kept him out for the entirety of that season and the start of this season as well. Now despite him coming back into the Arsenal lineup, let's just say the Arsenal fans have not been the best pleased, and therefore today lads, that brings us to Norwich right back Max Aarons. Now of course Max Aarons is an English right back and he's a player who a lot of Arsenal fans have touted to be a potential replacement for Hector Bellerin. So with that being said guys, let's get into this video and let's discuss the potential of Max Aarons replacing Hector Bellerin at the moment. Let's be talking some. Oh, Hector Bellerin, where did it all go wrong? From being in the PFA Team of the Season, the fastest player the world's ever seen, apparently he's faster than Usain Bolt, to now being named one of the most overrated players in the Premier League. Where did it all go wrong, Hector? Yo, what's on guys, my name is Battlefield, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are back again to discuss a transfer, and in terms of particular transfer we're discussing today, of course, is Max Aarons to the Arsenal. Now, Aarons is a right back who currently plays for Norwich City in the Premier League. Don't know how long they're going to remain there, but yeah, they currently play in the Premier League. In terms of the season, despite Norwich struggling in the relegation zone, Aarons has impressed, which has led Arsenal apparently to consider the fact that he could be a replacement for Hector Bellerin. Bellerin's been linked with the likes of Bayern Munich and Barcelona. What? And yeah, of course, if Bellerin was to leave the mighty Arsenal, that would leave a massive hole for Arsenal to fill, and that's where comes in man like Max Aarons. But with that being said guys, before we get into the video itself, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, smash 100 likes, your boy would appreciate it. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. I've been saying this for a long time, we're nearly there, so please subscribe. Also make sure to follow me on all my social media, my Twitter, my Snapchat, my Instagram and my TikTok will all be linked below in the description. And as always, and if you haven't already, also make sure to subscribe to the Offside. It's my group channel, banging content. What are you waiting for? And also, as always lads, make sure to comment below your thoughts on the transfer. Would you take Max Aarons? Do you think he's good enough to come to the Arsenal? And what are your thoughts on man like Hector Bellerin? But with that being said guys, let's get into this film. Let's discuss the potential of Max Aarons replacing Hector Bellerin at the mighty Arsenal. Let's be talking. Right, first things first lads, who exactly is Max Aarons? As I've already said lads, Max Aarons is an English right back who currently plays for Premier League side Norwich City. In terms of the age, the man is 20 years old, which is basically the same age as me, just obviously slightly bit older. And yeah, in terms of Max Aarons, as I've already said, his nationality is English, and of course he is also an England under-21 international. And he is also apparently the cousin of Newcastle player Rolando Aarons. You learn something new every day, eh? In terms of Aarons this season, the man's played 26 games for Norwich, where they of course have been fighting relegation, but Aarons has still been one of the best players by a country mile. But with that being said guys, let's get into the history of Max Aarons. Now in terms of Max Aarons, he came actually through the ranks of Luton Town, and actually in terms of place of birth, the man is born in Hammersmith, London, which is actually pretty local to me, which means absolutely nothing. And having played for Luton Town for a few years, he then moved to the Norwich City Academy in 2016. He then broke through into the Norwich first team in 2017 and had a fantastic season in the Championship, where he even won the EFL Young Player of the Year award. Hey yo, that's pretty decent, you know. Not only that lads, but Aarons of course was also part of the EFL Team of the Year as well. Now of course that season was also the same season Norwich got promoted to the Premier League. Now of course after that stunning first season Norwich, that actually led to a lot of Premier League interest. But despite that, of course Norwich managed to keep a hold of Max Aarons, and therefore of course he is player this season in the mighty Premier League. Now of course, as I've already said, Norwich have had not the best of seasons. I mean, let's not forget lads, they are kind of currently bottom of the Premier League. But hey, in terms of Max Aarons himself, having watched him play a few games, I can definitely see a player in him. And of course with him only being 20 years old as well, there's a lot of growing to be done, a lot of potential there as well, and therefore I can see why a lot of teams are after him. But with that being said guys, what type of player is man like Max Aarons? How good are you at football, mate? Now of course in terms of Max Aarons, yes, we already all know he's a right back, but the key thing here lads is the fact that he's an attacking right back. He loves to go forward, he loves to make attacks, cross the ball, get assists, and be a very good attacking fullback. And that of course is very key to Arsenal, because we're not looking to get a solid right back. We're not looking to sign the next Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is, very good defensively, but going forwards, pretty damn average. Sorry, Man United fans, someone had to say it. And that's where for Aarons, that's the key thing. He is a very good attacking fullback. And of course, in terms of that season in the Championship, yes, it was a Championship, but that's when Norwich played their best football, because they were allowed to play that football, because teams are not better back then. And of course, when Aarons was playing an attacking side week in, week out, that's what led him to be the young player of the year in the Championship. But what are the strengths of Max Aarons? In terms of strengths, that's of course his dribbling, his passing, his key passing, but also most importantly, that's his concentration. And when it comes to concentration, Hector Bellerin doesn't know what that is sometimes. Yeah, of course, Bellerin's grown up as a player and he's got somewhat better defensively, but he's still bang average. If you look into the best right backs in the Premier League and compare their defensive game to Hector Bellerin, Bellerin's probably the worst at it. Now, of course, I'm a massive fan of Bellerin. I think he still has a lot to offer Arsenal, and I actually don't think we should sell it. But for me, lads, in terms of Max Aarons, he has a lot of strengths that Bellerin has. But not only that, lads, but when it comes to Bellerin's weaknesses, Aarons makes up for that. I mean, you only have to look into Hector Bellerin, who scored, whereas his tackling at very weak. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So yeah, in terms of Max Aarons himself and the player he is, if we were to sign him, we're getting a player there who is just as tackling capable of Bellerin, and some people could argue somewhat even better. But also having played in the Premier League season under Norwich, where of course Norwich have had to defend a lot, Aarons has shown that he's also a very capable defender as well. Now, I'm not saying he's Aaron Wan-Bissaka level, but for me, he would represent an upgrade on Hector Bellerin's defensive ability. So that then poses a question, lads. Why do Arsenal need him? I mean, let's just get straight, lads. If Bellerin wants to go to Bayern or Barca, which I actually don't understand why are Bayern and Barca want him? But yeah, if he wants to go there, there'll be a massive hole, and that's where Max Aarons comes in. And not only that, lads, but a key thing for me, lads, is Bellerin himself. If you look into the top clubs in the Premier League right now, they've all got very good fullbacks. Just look at right now the best team in the Premier League, Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson, two very good fullbacks. And in terms of those fullbacks, they're not really the best defensively, but going forwards, them man are like wingers. Just look at my assist the man get. You can clearly see that fullbacks are becoming a very key thing to a lot of big teams. And it's not just Liverpool. If you look at Man United last summer, they spent £50 million on a right back in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because they knew to compete with the likes of Liverpool and Man City, they need to get better fullbacks. And in terms of Arsenal, Bellerin has shown in the past he has the ability, but ever since that 15-16 season, the man has had a free-for-all drop-off. And of course, in terms of Hector Bellerin, his key strength, of course, is his pace. But all that, lads, if you look into the injury the man suffered, that may just affect his speed. And for me, lads, if Hector Bellerin is to lose that speed, boys, I am sorry to say, but he's practically useless, because in terms of his overall game, it's pretty mediocre. I mean, I've been a guy who's backed Bellerin left, right and centre, but it's time to get real, lads. Bellerin is a player, when you take away his pace, he becomes a very one-dimensional player. He's not got fantastic crossing, he's not a great defender, and overall he then becomes a liability. And therefore, for me, lads, in terms of Arsenal and why we need Max Aarons, we need to improve our fullbacks. In terms of the left back, I'm actually pretty satisfied with Bukayo Saka, and of course we also got Kieran Tierney there as well. But in terms of the right backs, Andy Maitland-Niles' attitude, nah. Cedric Suarez doesn't even play for Arsenal, so let's forget about him. And Hector Bellerin's a player who is just not on that same level as Trent Alexander-Arnold and etc. And for me, in terms of Max Aarons, I think he has the ability to be one day on that level. So with that being said, guys, is Max Aarons worth £20 million? I mean, for me, lads, as I normally say, my cliche phrase, this is a no-brainer. In terms of Max Aarons, for me, he will represent a very decent upgrade to Hector Bellerin. Right now, the man's still 20 years old as well, so of course he's got a lot of growing to do, a lot of potential growth in that player as well. And of course, when you add in a man like Mikel Arteta to the equation, he might just become the next Dani Alves. Alright, Babs, let's just calm down for a second. But for me, lads, in terms of Max Aarons, I see a very good potential player in there. I see a player there who has the ability to compete with the best right backs in the Premier League. If you look into Liverpool, if you look at the likes of Chelsea, Man City and Man United, they've all got top right back. And if it's a rank the top right backs in the Premier League, Bellerin might be mid-table, bro. I mean, let's get straight. He's not better than Shred, he's not better than Wan-Bissaka, and he's not even better than Reece James for me. Now, I'm not trying to jump on his Bellerin slander, but let's be real, lads. He's not on that level. And for me, lads, in terms of Max Aarons, he might not currently be on that level. For me, lads, he has the ability to one day get there. And not only that, lads, but for me, £20 million is pretty much a bar, because if we are to sell Hector Bellerin to the likes of Bayern or Barca or whoever, we'll probably get at least £30 to £40 million for him. So metaphorically speaking, say if we're to get £40 million for Hector Bellerin, if you spend £20 million on Max Aarons, that means you got £20 million profit, and you might even have a better player as well. And then not only that, lads, but then you have a potential right back who has the ability to compete with the best right backs in the Premier League. So for me, lads, £20 million for Max Aarons, lads, this is what you call it? Oh yeah, a no-brainer. I am sorry, man, like Hector, I put my neck on the the line too many times for you. So for me, lads, if Arsenal receive that offer, the right money, yo Hector, it's time to go. But with that being said, guys, we are going to end the video around there. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video. If you like to smash 100 likes, your boy would appreciate it. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and we are getting there, so please subscribe. Make sure to follow all my social media links in the description. If you can do that, I would really appreciate it. Make sure to also subscribe to the Offsides as well, because yo, we make some banging content, so if you haven't already subscribed, yo bro, what are you waiting for? And also, as always, lads, let me know your thoughts in the comments on Max Aarons, and do you think he has the ability to replace Hector Bellerin? What would you do with Hector Bellerin? Sell him, keep him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But with that being said, guys, let's just end the video there and there. In today's video, we have discussed the possibility of Norwich right-back Max Aarons replacing man like Hector Bellerin at my Arsenal. For me, lads, if it becomes available, if the price is right, for me, this is a no-brainer. And yeah, lads, with that being said, I'll see you next time in a bit.